Hello, everybody, and welcome to OCRS Week 5. We got a triple header for you today. My name is Nicholas Kermit Malash. Beside me, we got Dan Banner, also known as Danners. How you doing?
Definitely doing okay here today, and what a day we have ahead of us, of course, as we do have, of course, three back-to-back matches here in OCRS action, as one of the matches that was supposed to happen last week got rescheduled to this week, so might as well line them all up. Let's see what we can get, including a possible doubleheader here of getting to see the St. Clair Saints green team, which I know the Gold Squad been getting a lot of love lately, so I'm happy to get to see this green squad get some stream time here once again, because by all means, just because we don't see them as often does not mean they're any less any less stronger, if that makes sense, if you know what I'm saying. But we're going to be starting off with green once again here today, starting with Queen's University, which I am not going to say the word because in theory it doesn't even make sense if we actually take a look at our standings here for this one. St. Clair, right at the tippy top, of course. Meanwhile, Queens, they've been struggling, to say the least here.
Yeah, they have not won a single game yet. So, they're 0-3 on the season and also 0-9. So they haven't won a single game. Hope maybe they can pull something off and, you know, being the underdogs of this game, maybe they can surprise something. But your Saints, 4-0, leading the leaderboards. Also 12-0. They've won every game. They have not lost a single game. So they are looking stronger than last year. And I mean, we got two really strong teams in this series. So I'm excited to see what they'll be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like, first off, like I was saying before, I don't get to see green as often, so, like, 4-0 to start things off here in the OCRS, just once again, just the amount of domination across both of the squads and both of their groups here for this league specifically has been absolutely nuts. We see it a little bit in AVGL as well, where like gold's at the top and then the green squad is just like short to follow. But here in OCRS, it's just been essentially Saints domination for those two groups. As we're about to get ready to hop in momentarily, the parties are lining up, getting ready to hop onto the pitch for the first time here tonight. Just a little bit longer here to go. Now, if you're on the Queen side of things here, Kermit, I know we don't necessarily get to like see the opposition play personally, but just like seeing the scoreboard, like, do you have any sort of like mindset, any sort of like tip or anything going into this matchup, or something to focus on? Maybe obviously we don't see him play, but like a general tip of some sort.
Oh man, it's been a while since we've seen Kamal, Ramen, and Nitrix play together. So, on this stream at least. And
Hmm.
if I'm Queen's University, your rotation is probably the strongest thing you have. If you can rotate to offense to defense, good, or defense to offense, even better. I think that's where Saints struggle a little bit is their rotations. So they might have a opportunity to take a few goals from them, and they do have to take advantage of Saints' mistakes. We do see it a little bit of it. Saints making little mistakes, double commits,
Hmm.
or even triple commits. So they need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, like consistently, like I'll agree for the most part. Like consistently, like St. Clair has been like very solid, I would say, in regards to rotations. However, you do sometimes see that major hiccup in the rotation that will oftentimes get punished, and we'll have to see if Queens can capitalize on it. I know personally what I do not want to see from Queens is play scared, because every team that we've seen so far, except, well, actually, even Ohio State, technically, I was giving them props in CCA for being super defensive, but even then, eventually they choked. It's just such a hard play style to play, but at the same time, it's like, oh, this team on paper is stronger than us. We should make sure that we're stopping everything. No, get aggressive, play your own game, try to like obviously get some goals, like send yourself out there. Don't play any differently because of who your opponent is. But I feel like we see that too often here across majority of collegiate leagues, where um, the underdogs kind of take a back seat and lets the higher seed just pummel, constant pressure, constant shots in. And I don't care how good your goalie is, how good your defensive rotations are, eventually there's going to be one too many shots and it's going to put you behind and you aren't on the scoreboard to retaliate.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times, especially against OSU there on Wednesday night. And you can't play defensive, especially in a Rocket League, because with the offensive pressure coming from the team, or whatever team you're against, they have a better opportunity to take the corner boost, so they're always going to have 100% boost, and eventually you're going to run out, and it just doesn't end good when you only have 13 boost.
Yeah, constantly seeing the gold squad. You give Jay, you give comps boots or any of them on the gold squad like 100% boost, then they're gonna be absolutely doing some crazy things in the sky. And this green team here for St. Clair is no different, of course. We have Kamal, Ramen, and Nitrix ready to go here, and they are no stranger to some aerial funsies, to say the least, as well. And looking forward to seeing that one in action. You probably heard the bell in the background. We are just hopping into the lobby right here, right now. I see one of the members here for Queens, so it should just be a couple more moments before we actually hit the pitch and get things underway here for our first of possibly 3 matches here tonight in the OCRS. And just a matter of time, and I just want to see Queens come out swinging. I just can't stress it enough. If they sit back in the crease and just make saves, they're just basically sitting back and waiting to die. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, they definitely need to be offensive in this case, and I mean that's your only hope against the Saints, as strong as they are. If you can keep getting those shots on and be aggressive, then I think that's your opportunity. But if you sit back, then you're just a sit and duck, and Saints are gonna run you over, hit you with a train. So it's definitely you definitely have to be super aggressive when you're going on to the offense.
Yeah, both of these Saints teams rather, that is the main time where I would ever see like the Saints start to kind of quiver a little bit, is whenever all of a sudden the other team is constantly shooting more than what the Saints are doing. So okay, they're setting some R's in the chat here, so we're just about to get into the game. Of course, before we hop on into the match itself, big thank you to everybody already tuning in, supporting the squad here. Of course, like I was saying before, it's been a while since we got to see the Saints green team, so thank you everybody for coming in to start things off with this matchup. We'll switch on over into the match in just a moment here, of course. Queens are just figuring out their colors, it looks like, actually. So should be just a moment before we get in there.
Alrighty, so my roster is wrong for Queen's University. As they are loaded up here, this should be a good series. What are your predictions for going into this series?
Well, I'm already predicting that they're baiting me in regards to the scoreboard. Had to switch that real quick because I was not expecting which sides they were going to be on. But nonetheless, we are finally underway. Of course, we have our St. Clair Saints in the orange, Queens University tricolor going to be in the blue. And starting off right away, we see Nitrix taking it downfield, trying to get past Bimmer, who's here on the side of Queens. And holy smokes, we're not wasting much time, are we? Kamal going to get himself off the board as Nitrix passes it off, takes Bimmer down as well. And this little bump here with Bimmer, what a pinch, and it just went directly into the corner. Very unlucky for Queens, but a beautiful start for St. Clair.
Yeah, it looked like he rotated his car when he was coming off the backboard, so I think if he would have kept his car straight, it would have went off the post, as St. Clair's going to get another opportunity, and Ramen, just like that, is going to put Saints up 2 goals. I don't even know what happened, just a flunked goal. Everybody missed it.
I mean, we've seen ourselves a double commit, but unfortunately neither of them actually hit the ball, and that was such an awkward bounce, which granted, trying to get some of the reads, or get a read on the ball that's hit the roof is very, very difficult, but Ramen just played that perfectly right off the pass from Kamal, and we do see another shot on target here. Kamal looking for his second of the game. We have Branta going to be making that save right there for the time being. Nitrix continuing to put on the pressure, but Ramen is right there as well. Pass to Kamal, going to go wide. And once again, Queens looking like they're kind of stuck in their zone.
Yeah, they can't seem to find boost as they say that. They get it clear, but again, here's Kamal's going to get this, and the Saints...
Oh, dirty.
Ramen destroys Brant, and then I believe, that's what gave him the goal on a 3-on-0 there. That was their last guy back, and unfortunately for Queens, the rotation there is nobody was there after Brant.
Okay, so getting Getting scored on early within the first couple minutes hurts. Getting scored 3 times early hurts. That last goal being scored because you got double demoed and there was nobody home. That just makes you angry as we see another double whiff into the post with the save. Nitrix barely getting denied. I'm sure he wanted to share some of that scoreboard fun as well here with the St. Clair Saints for the moment, but gonna get denied by the post.
Yeah, I don't know if you purposely missed that or what, but unfortunate if you're from the Saints. But you know, there's still time to bring this back, but it just seems Saints are much faster and putting up a better offensive ground. And the demos coming from Saints right now are really clutch. As you know.
These Saints are just hunting right now, which is interesting to see, and it's working as of this moment because it looks like just from the outside looks, we've seen our shot on target. Actually going to go a little bit wide. Rebound coming out here from Ramen, but Bimmer going to make the save. Loose ball through the crease, going wide, but still in a very dangerous area. Kamal putting it forward right through the center, but not quite going to get the tip he was looking for. Nitrix, though, going to try and find a shot for himself. I think that's going to be Cuppy to try and keep it out, at least in the corner, to at least keep it out of the danger zone. But now, with the Saints getting aggressive, it looks like a close clearing shot opportunity there for Queens. But eventually gets turned aside. Oh.
They got a nice clear here, but one thing I'm seeing consistently is the Queens University, their ball touches are not and making good enough contact. So even when they try to make contact with the ball to clear it, it's only going to midfield. It's not going deep. As they get a shot here, and
good save.
Wow, Cuppy of Wadi makes a save.
That reminds me, I totally forgot to fill up my water bottle before this one, but we'll have to see nonetheless. That's what we got breaks for. Nonetheless here, still 3-0 in this one. 2 minutes, or under 2 minutes left to go. Nobody home. Nitrix going to get himself on the board now to put the Saints up to 4, and he just basically took this himself right off the wall, passed it to himself, and nobody home to make the save directly into the center of the net.
Yeah, there's just no defense for, I think that's like the second goal. So unfortunately for this game, I think this game is going to be a write-off, but as Ramen's going to try and get an aerial here as Nitrix puts it away. Oh no, that was, it was
Nitrix with the pass, no? But Kamal got himself the goal, got himself the hat trick. Just getting it past. Actually, oddly enough, it would have been Nitrix who was the closest to stopping that shot from happening, but not going to be the case. In the 5-0 lead here for Saints up against Queens. It is looking like a rough one. I definitely agree with you when you said this one's probably a write-off here for Queens. Do what you can. Maybe try to see if you can snag yourself a quick goal to kind of boost that morale up a little bit and go into game 2 going in hot as again.
Yeah, even one goal here gives them a little bit of hope, knowing that, hey, we can do something against this team. But the defense from Saints has just been stellar. But, I mean, we haven't really seen much of it, as that's going to be a shot out front, but it just goes wide of the net.
To be fair, that's actually a really good opportunity there for Queens, and a nice try. Unfortunately, not going to actually hit the net itself. Went a little bit wide, but they do have a little bit of pressure for themselves now. Then we're going to look for an opportunity to maybe do a center. Is somebody nearby? Not quite going to be the case this time by. Ramen just defensively just holding strong here for St. Clair. Kapiwadi just going to clear this right back into the St. Clair zone, but the Saints aren't feeling really too much pressure at this point. They just want it up high, but Kapiwadi, they needed one to at least get something going here, and they're going to, he's going to find the goal from the corner, off the rooftop, basically right to himself. Kamal was going for the save as well, but actually may kind of help that one in a little bit. But still, Saints have quite the lead, so hang on for these next 30 seconds.
Yeah, so that goal puts a little bit of hope going into game 2. You can't take it like, oh, we lost 5-1. And, I mean, it's only game 1, so you do have more games. It is a best of 5, so you do need 3 wins to win the series. But even that one goal could change something in game number 2.
Absolutely. We see it go through the crease one more time here. One more play here, more than likely for the Saints. We see Nitrix trying to do a little bit of a flip of some sort to try and knock it in, but it's going to go crawling across center. And sure enough, St. Clair are going to take this one 4-goal lead, 5-1 to start things off here. Starting things off strong. St. Clair showing that they're at the top of this leaderboard for a reason. Meanwhile, unfortunately, there for Queen's University, kind of showing a bit of their greenness here in this matchup. And one big thing that I was noticing, like, how often was Queens off the ground? Like,
They have no aerial offense. The only time they really were up in the air is to try to make a save or try to send it out, and unfortunately, most of the time it did not work out for them. But again, you've seen Kamal be with the aggressive. He had, I believe that I saw 9 shots by
9
himself.
shots, 3 goals and an assist. Yeah.
That's pretty. That's pretty insane for one player to have almost 10 shots in double digits. So
Yeah, you rarely see that, that's for sure.
but we did see Queens with a little bit of offensive pressure, and I think if they can get more of that, I think we can see it going a little bit longer distance.
And we'll have to see if they can try to get themselves back on the board here. Game number 2 now underway. Ramen going to pick this one up. A nice pass. Actually, nobody home there. Nitrix nearly got the shot off. Ramen with the rebound was going to be pushed aside. And Kamal, of course, looking to start right back where he left off. Going to start himself on the scoreboard. Put the Saints in the lead once again. Ramen off the wall, perfectly into the center. And unfortunately there for Bimmer, he had the right idea in regards to that defense, but he could not get there in time. Saints up 1-0.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a helped Kamal there a little bit and pinched it into his own net, unfortunately. But again, that's only 15 seconds into the game, so you definitely want to. You don't want to play shy. You need to be aggressive, and you need to go for stuff that you wouldn't normally go for, especially for Queens, as they get a shot on goal, but Kamal is there to kick it away.
And this is the weird thing as well. Like we had mentioned how, in regards to Queens, like their aerial game is basically strictly for defense for the most part. As we see Nitrix going for a play, but a nice save actually there coming up from Branta to get himself right in the perfect position to flip on forward and make that save. But Queens, anytime they're in the air, it's basically for defensive purposes, which means anytime they try to make an offensive play for themselves, if the ball isn't on the ground, they basically can't do anything. They're forced to just watch it, as we see Ramen going to be picking up his first one of game number 2 after a beautiful pass from Nitrix right from the side. Again, just off the wall, gives it a little bump right into the top of the crease, and that is where the Saints like to strike. Ramen going to put Saints up 2-0.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, with Queens not getting good contact with the ball, that is the that's what happens. You give up a goal when you don't get good contact. And I believe that was Branta that tried to clear it, but again, just barely touched it. As Saints again clear that, that's going to be just a little bit off the net. As I believe that was Ramen.
There it is.
Getting its second goal.
Basically just got this all by himself. Ball was up high, and of course, nobody on Queens was really able to challenge it. Branta with a last-ditch effort to actually make the challenge, but unfortunately probably wasn't the first person to have, in theory, went for that challenge. But maybe Branta seems to be the only one even willing to take to the skies at all. And you have to be in the perfect position. Unfortunately there for Queens, just was not the case this time by, but they still have an offensive opportunity here to try to bring this one back. Sure, Saints are up 3-0, but there is still over 3 minutes left in this game. If something happens in regards to Queen's University, they could put themselves in a position to get themselves back into this game, but with the way things are going right now, it's looking unlikely.
Yeah, but they're going to have an opportunity here, and unfortunately, nobody's there.
Rebound?
As I say that, Brimmer hits it off the crossbar, and I don't know who that was from the Saints, just kept it out of the net, and they're going to fake him out, and Ramen scores this amazing goal.
What a way to get the hat trick here. Nitrix was there for a little bit of assistance as well. He slows it down. Waddy had the right idea. He thought that shot was coming. And to be fair, versus the majority of the people that they probably play up against here in the OCRS, that was probably the right call. They'll probably just go for the shot and you just charge it and you're fine. But we know the Saints love their slowdowns. They love their the ball control and the juking around people, and they just absolutely punished that play. So Saints up by 4 here in game number 2. Still, of course, a lot of time on the clock, but even still, like, Queens need something, and they need something quickly. Not necessarily for mathematical probability, but just for their own sanity.
If they go down 2-0 in this series, I really think that Saints are going to sweep them. But again, I don't want to say that too fast, because if they do get a goal within the next, say, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, I think there is a chance for a comeback. But again, Saints offensive pressure, and they've just been unbelievable. With I think they're probably going to have closer to 15 shots this game. So
Definitely feels like it as of right now. We do see Saints just constantly keeping things stuck in the Queen zone. They can't even touch the ball half the time. Bimmer going to try and get a clearing attempt, but actually it ends up kind of getting passed over to Kamal. Shot was going to go wide there. Rahman with a good try, which of course Rahman getting himself the hat trick here in this game as well. Kind of got understated after that wonderful juke, but that's 2 hat tricks there for 2 different Saints. Now we just need Nitrix to get involved, and he'll get himself hat trick as well. I'm trying to think if there's a terminology where all 3 players in Rocket League get themselves a hat trick, but we're going to see almost a nice attempt there from Rahman with the attempted flip reset.
I would call that the triple crown.
Triple crown, there we go.
Yeah, there. If maybe we'll maybe think of something better. As he almost gets a shot, that was Rahman. And Cuppy of Wadi is going to attempt something here, but the save coming from Rahman.
There are still some signs of life, but it's hard to keep going when you just get demoed off the field like that. Kamal going to take care of this one. Who got the demo here? Well, that was just Kamal basically getting the ball and demoing at the same time. And unfortunately, the other defense from Queens just could not find the contacts they were looking for. And right now, it is just, I say it time and time again here, but it is absolutely looking rough here for the side of Queens. Minute left to go. We're in another position where we just try to score 1 and go into game 3 and try to get a clean slate.
Yeah, they definitely need something to work out for them, as that was a gorgeous pass, and Kamal has the 2nd hat trick of the series.
Holy smokes, Kamal. That's going to be Rahman right from the boards as well. Just crisp passing right to the center. Like, just, it didn't even look like Kamal even really needed to move to make that shot happen. Just drive straight, hold W, and you're A-OK. Pull the trigger. Pedal to the metal and score it, and just beautifully done there. That being said, Cuppy trying to take to the skies, trying to prove me wrong here that they can get some offensive aerial plays in for themselves, but unfortunately just kind of not getting the full contact on that shot.
Yeah, that goal, if anybody here in chat watches hockey, that's like Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. That's how that was passed.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Passed, and you know, it ends up with goals like that. Kamal almost had a chance there, but 20 seconds left in the game, and this isn't good, so they just need a goal here, and I think this is their opportunity. Cuppy of Water scores his 2nd goal of the series, and maybe this is what they need. Reverse sweep is going to be needed, so that's extremely difficult, but it's possible. They need to make better contact with the ball in order for that to happen.
And you know what? Like, good stuff there from Kapiawadi. Like, that was a really good play. Had the ball up on his rooftop, saw Rahman was right there in front of him, gave it the little flip, and just popped it over. A nice little pop shot and got into the back of the net. Unfortunately, it's going to fall upon essentially deaf ears at this point, because it's just going to be taken away as one more nearly find its way into the net there last second, but would not have mattered. Saints going to take game number 2 in a 6-1 fashion, continuing their domination so far here in this series and in this league in general at this rate. And we'll have to see if Queen's University here for game number 3 can step it up a little bit, or just have something go in their favor here, because they have themselves a couple opportunities, but unfortunately, even if all the opportunities connected, it probably still would have been like 6-4. And just, they got to find their footing, and let's see if they can do that here for game number 3.
Yeah, like I said last game, I said 15 shots. I was off by 1. It was 16 shots. So the offensive pressure from the Saints green team is a lot of shot taking, and I mean that's what's leading to goal opportunities. They can't play defense, and you can't play only defense against the Saints, because they will load the shots up like that, and they were almost scoring 50%. So you definitely need to clear the ball is a big thing, but again, you need more offensive pressure.
And then, like, even if you're not necessarily playing purely defense. Even if you are trying to go purely offense, we're seeing, other than Cuppy, who's been the only one really taken to the skies like this, which fair enough, shot on target, but it's going to force Ramen to make the save. He's really the only one who's doing aerials and actually consistently hitting them. And a lot of them have to do with using the wall itself before going for it. So you can tell that this aerial gameplay in general, this Queen's University team is not comfortable. And even if they were guns blazing for offense, they can't hit the ball half the time because Saints are in the skies with it.
Yeah, this is going to be probably their best opportunity to open up the scoring, but Saints are there just to clear it like that. And, I mean, the ball hits the ground once, and then St. Clair are all up in the air and making these aerials count. They know that Queens is not a good aerial team. As I say that, Kamal's going to carry that in to open up the scoring.
They're going to pick it up himself right off the wall, and then this is just the difference that aerial play can make here. Just constantly forcing it up high, so you can't stand still to try to make the save. You have to try and take to the skies to get it. Cuppy had the right idea, but I think he may have even gotten bumped by his own teammate when they went for the double commit. So Saints are going to take the lead here once again for game number 3, and another shot on target here for Ramen. But thankfully here for Queens, it's off the post, but the rebound from Nitrix is just going to add that little extra insurance here for Saints to possibly find themselves in a sweeping position once again. He just basically straightforward drills it in. Bimmer, close, but no cigar.
Yeah, it's that hurts if you're Queens. Bimmer was almost got the save that could have turned this game around, and unfortunately it did not, as they're going to have an opportunity, but Kamal's there to make the save and send it off.
And Saints are just, they're looking, I want to say like they're looking fancy, but at the same time, this is just them normally playing. It's not like showboating or anything like that at all. They're just so used to like flipping around like this. When things go wrong, it looks kind of silly, but it doesn't really go wrong that often here. We're going to see Nitrix with the shot, but it does get pushed aside before it really becomes a threat. There is still 3 minutes left in this game here for Queens to try and make the play. And to be honest, Branta got past Ramen, but sure enough, where one person may get beat, there's always another. And then come on with the extra demo on top just for the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and I was saying the rotations were, St. Clair's rotations were not the best. As I say that, Nitrix scores his second of the game. So all he needs is one more goal this game, and he has a hat trick, and then all players of the team would have a hat trick in this series. So it's very well possible with 2.5 minutes left, but
the Rocket League triple crown of hat tricks of sorts is right on the cusp. And what on earth was that face-off? Ramen basically, or I think he was paired up with Kamal and just drilled it directly into the net almost. Thankfully, the post came in clutch, and we're going to have a slow ball. Branta, though, right on the line. Beautiful save, actually. I thought that was going to crawl its way in. Not going to be the case, however. Ramen pop fly pass, looking for Nitrix. Not going to happen. Going to just pick it back up and pass it back. And I like that from the Saints. Don't be afraid to pass it back. If they're not directly on you pressuring, use your defensemen so they can set it up properly. So many people I see playing sports in general now that I think about it, but especially here in Rocket League as well, I think that you always have to push it forward. That's not always the case, and the Saints find themselves an opportunity. Kamal going to get himself his second goal of this game. After a bit of a backboard again, just an awkward clearing attempt coming out here from Queens, and Saints have been known to punish that.
yeah, I don't think Branto wanted, I think he thought he had a better angle than what he did, trying to use that angled backboard, so try to get something going as Kamal's going to center this, and Nitrix almost gets another shot. But this is the difference between a team that is comfortable with each other with the aerials and they trust. As I say that, nobody's back, and again, as I say that, Kamal's there to make his save.
I mean, huge clutch save there from Kamal, but a nice setup too from Queens. Let's see if they can probably try another attempt. Branta was looking like he was going to go for it, but again, Ramen is already up in the air to make that stop before it was even a threat. Kamal looks for the drop down, kind of an awkward shot, however, puts it into the corner. Ramen going to just try and collect it for himself, challenging Branta. Branta, however, along the wall, is taking it into the St. Clair zone. Bit of a pop fly, crawling towards the crease, but there was nobody there to actually strike. So now just kind of fighting for it into the corner. One more time. Cuppy, he's looking for it, but again, just barely missing the mark for that drop down pass into the crease. Nitrix looking for the hat trick, going to be denied. And now another minute left to go here for Queens to make a miracle.
Yeah, the passing from St. Clair as that Kamal hits it
You
off
got
the
it!
boards, and there it is. Nitrix gets the hat trick, and I mean, unfortunately for Queens, that's gonna end this probably the series as there's only 43 seconds left. Something unbelievable needs to happen, but
It's just such an incredible change of mindset too, because Kamal had that. It was a softer pinch than what we normally see, but like directly towards the board or towards the backboard. And Queen's probably like, okay, hit the post, nothing to worry about. Okay, it wasn't the shot that was the threat; it was actually a pass. Nitrix there to punish it, and we see why Coach Mike and the rest of the Saints just absolutely love these backboard setups or like post setups, basically being the fourth person to give you the pass. We're going to see goal number 6 here. Ramen, he had a goose egg right now for this game. He wanted to make sure to put a 1 onto that one. Kamal going to get himself another assist on this one as well. Passing it from the corner, and just pretty standard stuff so far here for Saints up 6-0. 20 seconds left. This one's basically done.
unfortunately for Queens, so far they've only scored 2 goals in 2 games. Maybe they can score another goal just to
Come on, Cuppy.
give them a little bit something. But again, nobody's really comfortable. As I say that, they're going to get a shot here. And Cuppy of Wadi is going to get his 3rd goal of the series. And I mean, I feel like scoring a few goals on one of the best teams in the division is a little bit. It's like, okay, knowing these guys are like, well, they probably watched past VODs and just reviewing gameplay, as that's an awkward bounce, and St. Clair's going to take this 3-0.
Yeah, very convincing fashion there, but there is one thing that I will say, of course, about this Queen's University squad is that at least Cuppy is extremely consistent. Like, he had the 1 goal in every single game here in the series, and was the only one to go for aerials and actually make contact with them. So, like, put his team, or he carried the scoreboard for his team, but unfortunately, like, at the end of the day, though, that was like, what was it, 5-1, 6-1, 6-1 kind of situation. Maybe a goal or 2 off here. They all look the same to me, unfortunately, at this point, but it looked like basically deja vu of 3 games in a row. But at the same time, not meant, like, I might be criticizing, but I'm not trying to bash this Queen squad. By all means, a lot of these organizations or a lot of these teams are still on the startup here, especially in Ontario in general. There are a lot of or a handful of experienced ones like us here at St. Clair and like Durham, for example, but there's still a lot of these upstarts, and by all means, keep pushing. We may be a little bit hard on you on the cast sometimes, but we're happy that you're here. Keep going. Don't give up.
Absolutely. It's awesome to see more schools get into, and hopefully in September we'll see even more. And again, there's a few things Queens needs to work on, like the commitment to aerials, and just try to get comfortable in the air, as only Cuppy of Wadi was comfortable in the air. So they need the other two, at least one more player to be comfortable up there. And then uh again, they've had some good opportunities when they got offensive. They did have a few opportunities, but going back to that aerial stuff, if they were more comfortable, they would have had a lot more opportunities.
Yeah, can't stress that enough. You can practice your passing game on the ground as much as you want, but unfortunately, half the game, like 3/4 of the game, that ball isn't just rolling on the ground, and it's very similar. Like, maybe an odd reference, but or whenever you're playing like a fighting game title, for example, and you are practicing that specific extremely long combo to death, and you've actually gotten it down. How often do you actually get to throw that in game? It's usually extremely rare. And I feel like it's kind of a similar situation here for this Queen's University squad, where they may have that grounded passing game actually like quite strong. But how often does it actually happen in game? Unfortunately, it's not quite the case. So hopefully, for still a couple more weeks here in this OCRS season, would love to see this Queen's University squad get a good swing of momentum back in the right direction. We'll have to see later on throughout the season, but for now, of course, big props to our St. Clair Saints. The Green Squad this time by with a solid 3-0 victory, looking fantastic. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of them in the upcoming weeks as well. I want to throw it to our schedule very, very quickly here, as we are going to see. We'll see them on Sunday, actually. Yeah, this is them Sunday versus Purdue C for AVGL. Of course, kind of funny because we've played Purdue, I think, 3 times, or it'll be 3 times in 2 weeks. Our Gold Squad just took out A yesterday, actually. So Purdue C here going to be looking to try and get a bit of a revenge kill, but this time on our green squad. Wednesday, it says 9 o'clock, but I believe it's supposed to be 8 o'clock on CCA's channel. We're going to be on College Carball up against the Sioux College Cougars. Two teams kind of stuck in the middle looking to try and find their breakout. That'll be an exciting one as well. Thursday, you'll probably see this one here. Our Saints Gold Squad is going up against the University of Virginia. Friday, we'll be right back. Actually, not here. This one is going to be on the OCRS's Twitch channel versus Brock Esports, which is the current team tied with our Gold Squad in OCRS, if I do recall correctly. Let me fact check myself real quick by definitely not peeking at the other screen. It is a Gold Squad. Yes, okay. And then later on Saturday, this is a new one here. It's July 24th, the Open League for CCA. So this isn't the Division 1, Division 2 stuff. This is where our green squad is. And again, Ohio State University, this is their B squad going up against our St. Clair Saints green team, and we had an extremely exciting matchup just with the Ohio State A squad. They want revenge too, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of both Rocket League teams as we go through, with of course the other esports titles right around the corner to starting as well. So fun times right around the corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what. If you guys want to see a amazing game, go to Wednesday's stream and watch Saints versus OSU. That was something else. That was amazing. But again, we got way more Rocket League tonight, so hopefully,
yeah, we're not done just yet. Next matchup is going to be scheduled for about a half hour from now, so 8 o'clock, unless they do decide to jump the gun early here, but I see nothing in the chat log suggesting so. So we're going to throw this to a very, very brief break. We'll set everything back up, as this time our St. Clair Saints Gold roster, currently sitting in first, is going up against Carleton University Pink, who is currently third in that group. I'm not going to say a word about it. I'm not going to say the curse words, but we'll hopefully have ourselves an awesome match in the upcoming moments here. So stick around. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And, of course, thank you, Nick, for joining me on the cast once again here, as this is only part 1 of 3 here. You ready for the grind?
absolutely, always am.
Awesome, because we're definitely going in for it for tonight. But we'll see you all in a couple moments for the next matchup here, and it's OCRS triple header.